Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm so honored to be here with Kayla MacKay from Possibilities Recovery Center in Saskatoon. I first spoke with you, Kayla, last year, I do believe, before COVID hit.
Yeah,
And you're planning an event again this year. And I would just love for you to share, why you're here, what the event is about, and a little bit about the center so more people can learn about you and learn how to support you.
definitely. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, we met actually last year, right before our event. You kind of stumbled on, I don't know if it was a post or something about possibilities, and you reached out and we just kind of made this connection. And you wanted to do a piece last year for the event, but it was just time frame and whatnot. Um, Possibilities was created and kind of founded on the principles of addictions and mental health. Both Tanner and I, which is the other founder, are in recovery, and we both have lived with some sort of mental health in our own lives. I have anxiety. I've been diagnosed with PTSD. I've had extensive trauma. Tanner has his own journeys with anxiety and ADHD. So there's definitely a balance. When we went into recovery, there wasn't anything available that was outpatient and an intensive outpatient. And what that means is you live within your community. You can continue to work. Maybe if you're not working, you're still in your home space, but you would come on site or either on Zoom or on site to do programming 5 days a week. And so we are one of the only centers in Saskatchewan that runs a program quite like this. There's other centers that do outpatient, but they're typically only about 3 days a week and a couple hours a day. What stands us out a little bit differently is we use all evidence-based, but we also are adaptable to bring in energy work. We have land-based stuff that we work with. A friend of mine up in Blaine Lake that has space that we use. We're adaptable to any kind of demographic or socioeconomic status. So it brings in, we're able to look at a person as a whole. So the 4 parts, and I like to use kind of the medicine wheel when I talk about the 4 parts. So mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. And so when we look at a person holistically as a whole person, we're able to help heal all of those parts. And I guess that's kind of one of the things that sets us out from other treatment centers. It's not a one size fits all, because addiction doesn't discriminate, and everybody comes from different backgrounds or different experiences. And so the treatment should be treated as such. And so that's kind of where we came from and how we looked at this as a person in recovery and people coming into recovery, how terrifying it can be with that. And so I guess that's kind of just a brief explanation of possibilities. With COVID, prior to COVID, we were only available on site. Now with COVID, we've adapted everything. And so we actually, about 70% of our clients are rural people in Saskatchewan. We've actually helped people as far as Vancouver and Calgary as well. But it's not geographically, there's no geographical barrier anymore, just because we are able to access all the technology. And we found that there's been great success with that as well. We've had people do the full 16 weeks online, and they're still in recovery. They're still attending the social skills group, which is available for 52 weeks after you're done your programming. And there's not a change in our program. There's only 3 clinicians, myself, Rebecca, and Chris. And so they're the same people are always running your program. The same people are always the people doing your one-on-ones. There's never, you're able to build a relationship. And that's quite important during recovery, because typically people don't have a whole lot of trust in others. And so we have to build that trust back up.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible and amazing. And I love everything that you've said and how important treating somebody as a whole and that holistic medicine wheel that you described. I've seen that work wonders even in my personal career life. So, and the fact that you have the ability to build a relationship with somebody and build that trust, that's gold right there. There's so much value in that. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess for us, it is, our clients kind of become family. one of our clients, his wife just had a baby, and we're like so excited and sending them gifts, and do you need us to pick anything up? And like it's a very different dynamic. And I mean, as you grow, there's always that fear. And that was one thing that Tanner and I talk about all the time, is that our model never changes. No matter how big we become, we are still providing the same quality care that we always have when we opened our doors. And
Yeah.
so that's always on our mind. And so that's incredibly important to us, that doesn't change.
Wow. That's amazing, Kayla. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to come to your space. So share about the event, because I created a custom soul piece for your event coming up on March 13th, which is now going to be held online. Do you want to share a little bit about that with people?
Yeah. So typically we would have like a gala style event at a hotel or whatever that looks like. This year with COVID, that's not a thing. So we are actually traveling to Regina to IKS Media, and we're going to be recording an event there. So Rod Peterson is going to be the MC. And then we have Brad Sarosky, which is our guest speaker. And so he'll pre-record his speaking engagement and will be played for us. We also have it's called The Gong Show, and they will be pre-recording music for us. And then your piece, you'll unveil your piece at the event itself. And because we're in Regina, it's pretty easy for you to just pop over to the studio and do that. Then we will also have additional artwork that will go up for live auction as well. From like youth artists to people that have been doing it for years. So it's kind of a wide variety of things. Our event will be kind of there'll be kind of a precursor where we have a silent auction set up prior to. So we have silent auction items that have been donated from local organizations or companies that will also raise money. And any money raised from our online event will go directly back into our charity fund, which will then allow individuals who can't afford programming to access the same quality care of those individuals who potentially could afford programming. And so again, like any money that is raised goes directly back into helping our community within Saskatchewan.
That's wonderful. And where can people find more information about the event and how to join in and be part of this?
We have on our website, there's a link that you can put, and it's the events link. And on that is area that you can check out what it's a bit like what's happening, kind of the night, what it looks like. But there's also an Eventbrite link that you can click, and then tickets will be sold for the event on the Eventbrite. They're $43. And I mean, if you're in a house full of 8 people, it's only $43. And again, this online thing, it's kind of nice because it eliminates having to have the geographical barrier. Some people can't afford hotels, they can't travel, it costs more money, larger events are way more expensive. So you still get the same quality event, except you get to sit on your couch and you get to watch it from home, maybe cuddling up with your dog in your blanket.
That's
which
wonderful.
To me sounds way better than a big dress and heels. But
yeah, in your pajamas if you want.
I know. And so what will happen is the day of the event, you'll get a link that will have a password, and you'll be able to just click that link. Prior to, Kayla with IKS will also send out 1 day and 3 days before a reminder, just so you're aware that this is coming. It'll be here shortly. And then, so then it will be kind of, realistically, it's supposed to be exactly like an in-person event, just virtual. And so we actually have Campfire Stories. They have donated studio time to us to record people's testimonials. And so that will be played during the event as well. Actually prior to the event starting. So during the countdown, there'll be some things played, and then during the event as well. So, and these are all local people that have, I put a kind of a call out on Facebook, and people said, yeah, I'm willing to be recorded and tell you kind of my story and my testimony. And so it's really cool that we're speaking out more about addictions and mental health and what that looks like, because it doesn't look the same for anybody. And I guess as a teacher, I would always start, the mental health and addiction side of stuff in our health class about what do you I'd always say, what do you picture when I say somebody with an addiction? And 9 times out of 10, it was the guy outside the mall. And then I would raise my hand and say, hi, I'm Miss MacKay and I'm a recovering alcoholic. And the faces would drop because I blew out whatever kind of misconception they had about addiction, because that's not what they pictured. I'm not what they pictured, right? I'm a mom of 5. I haul my kids to all these sports, and I'm a teacher. Well, now I run Possibilities, but prior to that I was teaching. Like I was the teacher that everybody come and hung out with in the classroom, but they didn't know that. And so it kind of allowed them the opportunity to be a little bit more empathetic towards individuals who might be experiencing and living with mental health or substance use disorder.
Wow. Yeah, what a powerful sentiment to share with young children, to show that you just never know who it can be. That's
Right.
amazing. And what is your website, just for people who are listening in?
Possibilitiesrecovery.ca.
Beautiful. And do you want to just speak a little bit to what you're seeing right now because of COVID, with addictions going up and support going down?
So right now we've seen a substantial increase in mental health and addiction. So when people think the addictions increase, they think opiates. And in reality, it's actually, we're seeing an increase in alcohol and overdoses with alcohol. It's readily accessible, it's legal. People are isolated. And when people are isolated for long periods of time, it can deteriorate your mental health. Nothing looks the same. There's a lot of fear happening within the media about what COVID is. And that's not at a fault. They're trying to give information. However, sometimes the information is not provided, and people don't ask questions, and they just take it for face value. And so that is a fear thing, and fear is a traumatic response. It's a trauma-informed response. And so with fear comes a way, you have to find a way to combat it, and people are their mental health is deteriorating, the increase in addictions. We've seen more calls from people that are begging for help because the wait times are 3 to 6 months with any of the government funded. And
Wow.
3 to 6 months could mean life or death. And it's not at a fault of those individuals that are working in those fields, because they are working at over 150% capacity. They're doing the best they can with what they've been given. They're great individuals. So it's not at their fault, but it is our system. And our system is not set up to facilitate quality supports for mental health and addictions. It just isn't. And so people are begging for help at this point.
Yeah, wow. We're so glad that you're here. So speaking to that, what is the biggest thing that you need from people listening right now?
Right now, we need sponsorship and donations and funding. We're a non-profit registered charity with the federal government. So anything that's donated, we can provide a charitable receipt to people as long as we know the information we need. But individuals can't afford treatment. We have brought in individuals for as little as nothing, $50, $25 a month, or full programming. The only thing is we have no outside funding. And so if we don't have funding, our doors will eventually be closed because we're not sustainable, right? So we need, and people need help. And we hate turning people away because oftentimes they're grasping and they feel like nobody cares, and just one more door closes, it's just like solidifying their feeling of worthlessness and how alone they are. And so we do everything we can to make sure that people have access to treatment. And sometimes the treatment that we provide isn't the best option for them. They might need detox and they might need inpatient. We will actually sit down with people and make the calls with them or make the calls for them.
Wow.
Because sometimes they just don't even know where to call at this point. We will do, the new Estevan clinic is open. We've done intakes and assessments for them to refer clients, or not even clients, just individuals to their their facility because they have no other way to even get in contact with an addictions counselor to get the referral done. So we will do that. There's just people don't know where to turn, and with COVID, lots of things. I know like mental health and addictions, they're opened, but because of COVID, they've had to limit based on restrictions, which is totally understandable. But that also limits the amount of people that can access treatment. Saskatoon only has one detox facility. It went from 20 beds to 10.
Wow.
And they already had a wait at 20, and now we're at a huge wait at 10. Pine Lodge in Indian Head had a fire at Christmas time, so their facility is currently not running to capacity. Calder's capacity is limited in Saskatoon because of COVID. So COVID has really affected what programs were available because they have to restrict based on the restrictions.
Yeah, wonderful. Wow. So we really need you. And you couldn't have picked a better name for your facility. What I hear and feel from everything that you've said is you guys really truly show what's possible for people. And in so many ways, by working one-on-one, having that trust build relationship, by referring people to where they need to go and literally being there for them and holding space and making the phone calls or sitting there with them. Um, so I'd just like to, I don't need to add to anything to that, except if this reaches your heart in any way, I know that every donation counts, every sponsorship counts. $5 from a lot of people can go a long way, and you just never know whose life you might end up saving or helping or touching. And I also always see the bigger picture that when we help one person, we help a community of people, because that one person has people in their lives that they're influencing, whether it's family, friends, coworkers. You just never know. It has this huge ripple effect that just continues forever.
Yep.
So yeah, I love that you're here with me today and that you got to speak and share a little bit about this. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we end?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you've agreed to do and helped us and continue to support. We really appreciate it. And again, if anybody has any questions, feel free. We have an office number. They can give us a call at 306-242-7023 if they have any questions about program. We also have the website at possibilitiesrecovery.ca. Facebook, Possibilities Recovery Center, and Instagram we're on as well. And so you can reach us at any one of those 4 options, and somebody will, typically it's me. I'm often on my phone home, and my kids are often like, Mom, I'm like, just 5 minutes. I just need to quickly answer this. And we kind of understood now that sometimes mom's work could really, it really does that mean that somebody, this is their last phone call, and so I might need to take it. And so they're learning that empathy because they kind of have to. But there are times that I've had to turn my phone off because I need to take that break for me. We all overwork ourselves, and so we have to learn that balance. But yes, please don't hesitate to reach out or call if you need anything. We're here. I have no issues sitting on the phone with you for 45 minutes to an hour if you just need someone to. I've had that quite often, but that's kind of who we are. So
that's so wonderful and so beautiful. We'll make sure that we plug in your website and all the social handles and your phone number also below the video in case people didn't have a chance to write that down. So again, visit their website, give Kayla a call, check out their Instagram and Facebook, and definitely purchase a ticket for your event on March 13th. I'm really looking forward to that. So thank you so much, Kayla.
You take care.
Yeah, you too.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.